Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche Podcast, live from the Toyota Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships and presented by Bet365. We've got AJ and Rudo coming to you live as it is season preview / prediction time for the Western Conference of the NHL. We'll get into where we think the Avs fit in the Central Division picture. We'll get into the Pacific. We've talked a decent amount about this before, but we'll put our actual predictions down for the divisions this year and get into some of the competition. But before we do all of that, we do have, I guess it's probably not breaking anymore, but breaking an hour ago news for the Colorado Avalanche. Ilya Solovyov, I think I said it right, claimed off of waivers from the Calgary Flames for the Avs. He is a 25-year-old, 6'3", 210-pound left shot defenseman. We had been speculating about a potential defenseman claim for insurance on that left side for the Avs pretty much all preseason. This is it. It happened while I was in the car driving to the studio, so I won't pretend like I've seen any of the footage of this guy or know a whole lot about him, but seems like he had a pretty solid year in the AHL last year, has 15 games over the last couple of years under his belt in the NHL for Calgary. Will we see this guy play games this year, AJ?
I think so. Obviously, all this happened in the last hour, so I haven't had a lot of time to sink my teeth into it. And this wasn't a guy that I knew anything about, so I'm not going to sit here and try and pretend I did. But I have gotten to go through about 3 games worth of video. I got one of them up right now. One of his preseason games from this year, and early takeaways are for a guy that's 6'3", 210. He's got decent feet. It's not gonna blow you away. You're not gonna be like, oh my gosh. But he also doesn't look like a tank, no SS Raijo kind of thing. So that's always where you want to start with an Avalanche specific evaluation is what kind of skater is he? Defensively, there will be a lot of people that look at 6'3", 210 and go, yes, just what we needed. Another big guy that's gonna lay the wood. Not really. I'm 3 games in and I haven't seen him hit anybody yet. But he battles in front of the net. It's not like he's out there just avoiding contact. But this is not a guy that you're gonna see blow somebody up every single night, anything like that. So, the physicality, What I have liked, though, makes quick decisions with the puck. And it's not like, oh, okay, well, he made a quick decision, but is it a bad decision or a good decision? A lot of them have been pretty good. A lot of them are solid. So, I'm not discouraged by this. And it's interesting because he's like kind of a perfect mirror to Keaton Middleton, where their strengths and weaknesses are opposites, except they're both in big bodies.
Sure.
So it's kind of a pick your own poison. Another thing to note here is that he has played on the right side. So in a world where, let's say, Sam Malinsky doesn't work out on the left, and they were to move him for whatever reason, they trade him away for something, and Solovyov becomes like their third pairing defender. Great.
Yeah.
They can get away with that. And then if there's an injury on the right side, he can also play the right. He can move over. So it's not, you're not looking at a situation where it's like, right now they're trying to move a guy over onto the left side and it hasn't gone well in the preseason. We'll see how it goes in the regular season. but he has experience playing left and right, and as we've talked about all summer, left-handed guys do have to move over and play the right side semi-regular. Like a lot of guys have done it in their careers because teams don't have enough righties.
Yeah.
So, uh, I think that this represents a better fit for how Colorado likes to play than what Keaton Middleton does. But you are losing out on the physicality, nastiness. He's going to drop the gloves and fight somebody. Solovyov doesn't look like he's going to do that to anybody.
There's obviously the connection to Malinsky is obvious, but being able to play the right, having maybe more ability than simply just being large, you're putting together a resume for a guy that you're trying to set up to be a proper 7th D for you this year, right? That's kind of the selling point on this. With him being a waiver claim, of course, he does have to spend the next 30 days on the NHL roster if the Avs do want to keep him. So they're committed to him for at least a month. What does that role look like? Does he even get any games in that month? I think that's up for debate, but
sort of like they could turn around and waive him tomorrow if they wanted.
Sure, but then he's going to go back to Calgary and be in the AHL.
Right. If Calgary is the only team that puts a claim in on him, then they could send him to the AHL, which is what they wanted to do in the first place. If they get past the 10 games / 30-day mark, then he would have, and the Avs wanted to demote him, he would have to go through the waiver process again, and even if Calgary were to reclaim him, he would have to be on the NHL roster again.
Right.
So just to clarify, the Avs aren't like tied to this guy. They can waive him whatever they want. It just makes it very easy for Calgary to get what they want.
Right. It's set up for the Avs to keep him on the NHL roster for now.
Yeah.
They can choose not to, of course, but I would be surprised if they made that decision at least before they saw him play. I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah, same. I mean, we saw they have gone through some waiver guys pretty quickly in the past. Like obviously Marco Dano is like the ultimate example. He played like 3 times, and Jared Bednar went and that was over real fast.
Yeah.
John Ludwig got a couple of games last year, and then they just sat him.
Yep.
Forever, and I'm assuming that was to run out the 10-day / 30 game or 10-game 30-day clock, so that Pittsburgh couldn't just reclaim him, and then he has to be on the NHL roster. Like you can't just shuttle him off to the AHL. Then it makes it easier to get him to your AHL team in that case.
Yeah.
So, but your ultimate point, I would agree with you. If Malinsky has a tough time in the first handful of games,
we'll see.
You could see. Yeah, you could see them give Solovyov a game or two. I would probably give him a week, 2 weeks to get up to speed, to get into town, settle in.
For sure.
Do the whole thing. So
it just adds more flexibility too, right? Yes, I know he might not be the most physical guy when it comes to laying the body and all of that, but you go from a Sam Malinsky who's 5'11", 180 or 190, whatever he is, to
whatever they're lying about.
Yeah, sure. 6'3", 210 guy who, look, you and I have never been that dedicated to size of hockey players, but if you want to change things up, if you want to give different looks, we saw last year the usage of Keaton Middleton pretty regularly against teams that Jared Bednar thought was going to be more physical. Maybe this is a good halfway option, right? Where this is a guy that can be bigger, but also isn't just unusable when it comes to puck management.
Yeah, and I think it's a really important note here that when you are talking about a guy that is 6'3" versus one who's 5'10", that extra 5 inches of reach is meaningful.
Yep.
Even if he's not the most physical guy, if he's good with his stick and he's disruptive there, he's 5 inches more effective than Sam Malinsky is, just because of raw size. Like, if all things are equal, you always want the bigger player. It's a little harder to play against, the size, the space limitations, all of it. All of that matters. It all adds up over time. Those are all important factors. So, yeah, if he can move in a manner that is fitting what the Avalanche like, and he is as decent with the puck as what I was watching on video, I think they're going to be fine with this. I really don't think that there's going to be a big problem. This might be, this might be a pretty sneaky, solid claim, and wasn't a guy that I had on any of my lists because I just didn't know anything about him.
And in your bottom four, if you end up in a world where you're playing Solovyov, Manson, and Burns, how much more size do you really need at that point?
Yeah.
You've got a couple of big guys,
right? And if something crazy happens and you end up with Keaton Middleton and Solovyov in your lineup, you're really big then.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to be very good, but you're going to be really big.
Yep. I'll leave it there, I guess. But the Avs do get their waiver claim for the offseason. Not a big surprise. I do wonder.
Justifying an entire offseason of us rambling on about, well, they're going to get one. We just don't know which guy we've never heard of they're going to take. Here he is.
Yep.
It's over.
Think he gets in town in time to play tomorrow?
Well, because they claimed him off of a Canadian team, I don't know if the visa situation will be as quickly as you want it to be for that to happen. So I'm going to say no.
Especially given the American government is shut down. So, yeah, probably not.
You're right. That's a good point. I have no idea how the visa process works when the American government is chilling.
Same.
This isn't even us being political. I honestly just don't know.
Yeah. I assume there will probably be delays. That's all.
I kind of want to text Avs PR and just be like, hey, how does this work? I'm going to do that. I'm going to text and see if I can.
You do that. We do want to get into our main topic of the day, though, which is predicting the divisions in the Western Conference. We can. What do you want to start with? Central or Pacific? Should we save the Avs for last?
Yeah, we should definitely start with the Pacific.
All right.
I mean.
Oh, yeah? Do we even really need to predict the Pacific? Are we just accepting of the fact that round one is going to be Edmonton versus LA and Vegas versus whoever else?
Yeah. I mean, you can't say that because you picked Edmonton to win it. So no.
I did.
You do not get to be mad about this because that's not how you saw it happening.
With that being said, though, the top three in this division do feel pretty clear-cut, whatever order you want to put them in. It's Edmonton, LA, and Vegas in whatever order.
Yeah, I think so. I just don't know. Is there a team from the bottom of this division that you can see cracking that top three?
No, not the top three.
The only team that I'm really I'm curious about is Anaheim. And that's because Joel Quenneville has been such a great head coach that he has extracted some results from some really impressive results from some not very good teams, including in Colorado. And so I'm open to the idea that, hey, they've got a number one defender in Jackson Lacombe. They've got a number one goalie in Lucas Dostal. They've got a pretty intriguing top six. I'm open to the idea that the Coach Q effect out there is really, really good, and that they take advantage of a really blah division. They could be a big surprise.
I'm open to them sliding into a wild card spot. I don't know if I'm open to them cracking the top three.
Fair enough. I just mean we both have them sixth in this one. I'm just saying to start this conversation about the Pacific, I just want to get it on record. Anaheim is the team that I'm saying they're my dark horse.
I mean, I'm down for that. I think it's outside of. That's not even true. I think Seattle and San Jose are bad. But any of Calgary, Vancouver, and Anaheim, sure, they could slide into that fourth spot.
San Jose and Seattle are bad in such different ways that it's fascinating. It really goes to show you the cycle of a franchise, because San Jose is going to be fun bad and Seattle is going to be depressing expensive bad. And like that's the worst place to be in the NHL.
Yeah. San Jose was intentionally bad for a while, and while they're still bad, there is a path to the future, whereas Seattle is just walking through the muck. I had no hope. Well, I still think they might be better than San Jose this year, although Macklin Celebrini is the truth. I see no future in Seattle. I'll put it to you that way. Do want to get into it a little bit more, but we do need to take our first break of the show. So let's make sure we're hitting that, as we are brought to you by the folks over at Coors Light. Make sure you're choosing chill with Coors Light, as they are available in pretty much every liquor store in the country. And Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. You know it's ice cold and ready to drink when the mountains turn blue on the bottle or the can. Lets you know it's nice and chilly. Good to go. And the coolest part is you don't even have to go to the liquor store to get yourself some Coors Light, as they are available to get delivered right to your front door thanks to CoorsLight.com/DNVR and Instacart. So whatever the occasion, whether you're sitting on the couch watching the game, having a grill out in the backyard, or any other option, you can choose Coors Light today. Make the most out of the time you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your front door. Again, visit CoorsLight.com/DNVR thanks to Instacart. Of course, Coors Brewing Company, please celebrate responsibly. Golden, Colorado. Once you've got your Coors Light and you're all good to go on that front, make sure you're getting in with the official vehicle of Colorado. Maybe you don't get it delivered. Maybe you need to go pick up the Coors Light. Do it in a Toyota. Jump in with Toyota. They have a vehicle for everyone, whether it be their SUVs, their trucks, their sedans, their hatchbacks. They've got it all. 17 different models with four-wheel drive available, like the Epic 4Runner, so you can take command on the road or the trail, whether you just want that grip on the road for scary weather, or if you go off-roading and want to enjoy it that way, they've got you covered. Toyota also currently offers more low and zero emission vehicles combined than any other automaker to give customers numerous choices to reduce their carbon footprint. That's 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from, including hybrid trucks like the Tundra iForce Max. So go get with your Front Range Toyota stores today at a location near you, including AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe and Centennial, Corin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mount States Toyota in Denver, Stevens Toyota East Aurora, and Stevens Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, the official vehicle of not just us here at DNVR, but the Colorado Avalanche too. Toyota, let's go places. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast, getting into this Pacific Division. AJ, sell me on Vegas, because you have them in first, I have them in third.
Yeah, it's a little bit of what we talked about yesterday, I think, with the Eastern preview, where if you get good goaltending and you have a good defense and you can score goals, that's a pretty good combination for the regular season.
That's all the parts of hockey.
Right. The separators are like how well you do those things in a vacuum in a playoff series against a particular opponent, which is one reason why the postseason is such a fascinating experiment, because hockey is such a random game, but also a 7-game series allows you to really drill down into specifics. But for an 82-game regular season where you're not game planning for a specific opponent every single night, outside of like broad strokes, you know.
Yeah.
I think Vegas is just built really, really well. Their top 9 for their forward core is rock solid. Like, what's the problem there? Everything that they do is good. They play an obnoxious style of hockey where they are really, really effective. They're disruptive. They have a bunch of good two-way players. And I swear to God, whatever the weird hive mind that they've got going on between Riley Smith and William Karlsson is incredible.
Yep.
Those guys together just click. And right now they've got Mark Stone as the third banana there. That's an obnoxiously good two-way line.
Yep.
So love that. Love their Mitch Marner, Jack Eichel. What do you say about their center depth? Eichel, Hertl, Karlsson. I mean, that's the best in the NHL. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Their forward core is pretty unimpeachable.
What could they possibly be lacking? Like, they lose Alex Pietrangelo, which I think is going to matter a lot more come playoff time. You saw what happened to them last year when they had a compromised Pietrangelo out there. And their replacement is like Braden McNabb on the right side, Zach Whitecloud, Caden Korzak. They bet big that Caden Korzak
Better take a
is
big
the real
step.
deal by giving him a big extension this offseason. They're betting huge that they're right about him. And like Aiden Hill, I don't think is worth the money, and he hasn't been amazing since their Stanley Cup run, but like he's at least a solid goaltender. So you're talking all three levels of their team. Good. I didn't even talk about Dorofeyev. The guy's a 30 goal scorer last year. Like they're just deep, man. They're deep. They're good. They've got everything that you want. Built really, really well for regular season hockey. That's not me throwing shade at them being built for the postseason. That's not our focus right now. I think they've got all the elements. And when you compare that directly to Edmonton, Edmonton has a lot more question marks in their top six. Contract year Connor McDavid's about to be a lot of fun to watch. I think that's going to be a delight. But they have one of the best defenses in the NHL. I know people don't like when I say that, but sorry, it's true. They're great. But their forward core is lacking the kind of depth that it had last year. It's a lot more top heavy, and they didn't fix the goaltending.
Yeah,
and I know they just went and got Connor Ingram, but
that doesn't really
it's
fix
probably going
anything.
to take him a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll see how long it takes for Connor Ingram to get up to speed and going and to steal Calvin Pickard's job. I'm assuming it won't take that long, which sucks because team picks forever. But that's my big separator, is that Edmonton has a lot more question marks to answer in the regular season than Vegas. And Vegas is just, they're good to go. They're ready to rock. They're healthy.
I'm not as much of a believer in Vegas's back end. I agree with you on the forward core. It's ridiculous. I think the defense is going to suffer pretty badly from a lack of Pietrangelo. And I've long been the Aiden Hill hater, if you want to call me that. That's fine. I don't have as much faith on the backside of Vegas as you do. Edmonton, yes, their goaltending remains a problem. Full stop. I just trust Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl to 100% outscore their problems in the regular season. I do wonder, when does the fatigue catch up with Edmonton? Two back-to-back Cup Finals appearances. At what point does that gas start to run out of the tank, especially for guys like McDavid and Draisaitl, who have, not that they weren't good teams, but those dudes put on the backpack every night, right? Eventually that steam is going to run out, and that's a fair concern for Edmonton for me. LA,
it absolutely is.
LA, on the other hand, look, are they going to be the obscene monster that literally just gave up no goals like they were last year? Probably not. You expect a little bit of regression in that regard from that team. But I do think they are quietly a better offensive team than people give them credit for. I know you still live with an aging Kopitar that somehow finds ways to produce, but you have guys like Kempe. Yeah. You have a lineup that can... will they run into scoring by committee problems in the playoffs like every scoring by committee team does? Yes. But in the regular season, scoring by committee gets you a long way. You can have a quality NHL regular season.
The big problem for me is that Vladislav Gavrikov did a ton of heavy lifting on the defensive end for them last year.
Sure.
And they replaced Gavrikov with Brian Dumoulin. And I still like Brian Dumoulin as like a
bottom pairing guy,
an effective third pairing guy, but that's your replacement for Gavrikov. That's a problem. That's a problem. And then you add Cody Ceci into that mix, who sucks. So that's you got way worse defensively, and that was your calling card. Kopitar is a magician. I don't know how he keeps pulling it off. Phil Deneau down the middle. Phil Deneau, Quentin Byfield, Andrei Kopitar. Yeah, they're good, man. However they want to like align their stars. Yeah, they're good. It's a good team. It's why we both have them in the top 3 and making the playoffs again. They don't have a true heavy hitter. they don't have like the big star, and you have absolutely no idea what you're going to get out of Darcy Kemper, who it just does the goalie thing, right? His swings in production have been wild.
Sometimes he looks amazing, sometimes he looks horrible. Yeah.
Yep. And I think that the defensive infrastructure made his job a lot easier last year. If that defense starts to crack a little bit, Kemper has to play better to make up for it. Can he do that at 35 years old? I don't know. And so for me, it felt like I have all these questions about LA, and I think that the upside is a little bit more limited than what Vegas and Edmonton have. I think that they're an easy playoff team. I'm not worried about that, but I am going to say that if there is a team that I think out west that is on shaky ground, LA and Minnesota, and we'll get there obviously, those are the two teams that I say have the shakiest ground for getting back into the postseason from last year's teams.
All right.
Because I just think their upside is limited, and you can easily see a path to, oh God, this didn't go well.
I don't think I see a path to it going horribly, but I do agree that if all three of those top teams play their best this year, LA's probably in third. I think that's fair. So, Calgary zone, or should we call it the Canada zone, since we have Vancouver and Calgary both in our 4th and 5th spots?
Yeah.
I don't know that I have a ton to say here, because this is just, especially in Calgary's case, this is just who they've been. And Vancouver has kind of found themselves in this spot over the last couple of years where they're good enough to not be bad teams, but they're not good enough to really compete when it comes to the top of the NHL.
Yeah, I mean, we don't call it the Calgary zone because they find themselves outside of this area all the time, right? They have been this team more often than not for the last, I don't know, how long have you and I been talking about the Avalanche on the internet together? For like a decade plus?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, it's the Calgary zone, and they're still there, where they're not bad enough to bottom out, and they're not good enough to scare anybody. It's just where you're at.
Yep.
They're in kind of a strange position. Mackenzie Weegar and Rasmus Anderson, that's a pretty good right side. But their best prospect is Zane Parekh, and he's also...
Well, looks like we had some connectivity issues there with AJ. But to continue off of his point, Calgary just struggles to put all the pieces together when it comes to taking that next step towards being a proper playoff team. There we go. He's back.
That was cool. I don't know where I was, but basically their defense is in a weird spot, and they're going to have to figure out an answer to Rasmus Anderson. And at forward, it's like Connor Zary and Matt Coronado are like, they've kind of got to, those are the guys that are going to carry them. They need steps forward from those guys.
Yeah.
Scary. And Vancouver's really in the same spot. Like, is Elias Pettersson the man? I can't believe they somehow managed to keep Brock Besser. And are they any better than they were last year?
No. This is a truth of the majority of the Western Conference, though, right? How many teams in the West can say they're better than they were last year? It's not many.
Yeah.
It might be none, to be honest.
A lot of these teams took some steps back.
Yep.
And like Calgary's success was driven so much from Dustin Wolf erasing the fact that they couldn't score.
Yep.
And being an elite goaltender for 60 games. So
is that legit, or is the goalie up and down swings? Yeah.
like, and to be that good.
Right.
He was like a top 3 goaltender. He was like, through 60 games, I was saying that this guy needs Vezina votes. Not to win it, but some votes, to be on the ballot.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what they needed to just barely miss the postseason.
Right.
And be like a mid-90 point team. That's a lot of things going right for you. That's going to be hard to repeat.
For sure. It's tough. I do not envy teams stuck in that era The Avs did
Yeah.
it for a while in the early 2010s where they were good but not good enough.
Yeah, they had good players, but they weren't a good team. And I
Yep.
think that's exactly where you end up with Vancouver right now with Pettersson, Besser, DeBrusk. Like, good players. Quinn Hughes is obviously a monster. It's not a good team. And you've committed $13 million to your goaltending tandem of Thatcher Demko and Kevin Lankinen. Strange decision.
If nothing else, healthy goaltending for an entire season could help them a little bit, but
Totally.
also, is that enough to get them into a more competitive position? I mean, maybe it's enough to get them into the playoffs, but I don't know how much more than that'll get you. So, anyway,
Yeah,
we need to take our second break.
They are kind
here,
of in
but-
like
Okay.
your thing.
We'll jump in. We'll take our break here as. Now I'm having technical difficulties. There we go. We are presented by Bet365. They're an official partner of the Colorado Avalanche, so make sure you're getting over with Bet365 and getting your bets in, whether it's on hockey, baseballs, playoffs going on right now. You got the NFL going on, tons of stuff to jump in on. And with Bet365, you can get a bunch of awesome deals, whether it's bonus bets, whether it's early payout offers. They have great same-game parlays. They've got it all when it comes to your betting options. And with Bet365 right now, if you sign up with the DNVR 365 code, you can use that QR code on screen. You put $10 in your account. You bet $5 on anything, win or lose. You don't even have to win the bet. You get $200 in bonus bets just for signing up with the DNVR 365 code. The bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. So make sure you're getting in with Bet365 to get your bets in. Again, bet $5 on anything, win or lose, to get $200 in bonus bets. Must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. And once you win a little bit of money at Bet365, you're going to want to go hit up one of our newest partnerships and Dick's Sporting Goods. Stop by your local Dick's Sporting Goods for the hottest apparel and footwear from top brands like Nike, Adidas, Originals, FP Movement, VRST, Calia, and even us here at DNVR. Yeah, we have DNVR merch at most Dick's Sporting Goods across the Front Range. So go check them out. I know if you want to get your shirts right away, sometimes it's easier to go do it in person instead of getting it shipped from us. So check out Dick's today, whether it's baseball, soccer, football, basketball, golf, or more, and all of your tailgating essentials. They've got it all at Dick's. If you found a lower price, Dick's will match it with their best price guarantee. So that's the place to be. Get your gear fast with free curbside pickup at your nearest store or easy shipping from Dicks.com, because every season starts at Dick's. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Do you want to wrap up on the Pacific here, AJ?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that I think it's funny. Calgary's in the opposite. Calgary and Vancouver, like in opposite sides of the same coin, where Calgary needs a lot of things to go right in order to get back to where they were. And Vancouver is banking on all the things that went wrong.
Yeah, to not
going
happen
right
again. Yeah.
To improve. So it's just sort of a strange place. And then the bottom three teams are the bottom three. I said what I wanted about Anaheim, San Jose, and Seattle. Like, we're good.
They're pretty clearly at the bottom, I would say. So we can move on to the central side of this conversation. And I can't wait for the Dallas fans to call us homers on Twitter for this one.
They can't call me a homer. I picked the Avs to finish third in the division last year and for Dallas to beat them in the postseason. So those people can all eat it.
Facts and logic will not stop them from calling you a homer. I hate to break it to you.
I guess it's true, man. It's the internet.
We both have the same top two in Colorado and Dallas. I think it's pretty clear this year those two are a clear cut above the rest of the division. Whether you hate Winnipeg like I do or just drop them down the list like AJ did, they took a big step back this year, especially now that Jonathan Toews might already be hurt. They aren't the team they were last year, and as much as Connor Hellebuck is the best goalie in the NHL, at a certain point, he's not going to continue to play at that caliber in the regular season. He's bound to have a down year at some point. Let's start at the top, though. Why Colorado over Dallas?
Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah.
Cale Makar.
Yeah.
I think that Colorado's top six is fantastic, and I think their defense is deeper.
I would agree.
And I like their goaltending.
So everything.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. I will say I do think it's close. We put Dallas in second. It's not like there's a gulf between these two teams by any stretch of the imagination, but
yeah, if I have Colorado finishing with 109 points, I have Dallas finishing with 108.
Sure.
Like, I think it's going to go right down to the wire.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to play each other in the first round this year.
That'd be nice. Let's not do that. Dallas, obviously coming off of multiple conference finals, they have been the best team in the Central for the last couple of years as far as playoffs is concerned.
Yeah.
So they've earned their keep.
I think you're asking why do I have Colorado over Dallas? I mean, we both do. I would imagine this is true for both of us, but skepticism over Mikko Rantanen full season without Nathan McKinnon helping him out. We saw both players struggled at 5v5 last year, both together and apart. Struggled relative to their own careers.
Struggle means point per game, not 110-point player.
Yeah, exactly. Not relative to other players, relative to their own peaks.
Yeah. I think that's
so important context.
Definitely a concern. You mentioned their defense. The only other thing, and this seems to be a constant in Dallas, can they keep getting away with their aging curve? They have a lot of older guys. Can Jamie Benn still hold it together? Even someone like Tyler Seguin isn't young anymore, but he's not really hitting the aging curve yet. So I won't go into that as far. But you look up and down their lineup, and yes, they do have those up-and-coming young guys. They really are going to need Maverick Bourque to take a big step this year for them to find that part of their offense. But they still have a number of older guys that, if the cliff comes, they could have holes.
Yeah. Tyler Seguin and Matt Duchene, ages 33 and 34 respectively, were point-per-game players last year.
Yep.
Now, Seguin obviously did it in 20 games instead of 82, like Duchene did. But, like, if the Avs get an 82-point season out of Val Nichushkin or Brock Nelson, they're winning the division.
Pretty clearly. A good point in the Toyota chat here, too. New head coach in Dallas. What does the Glenn Galutzan experience look like?
Yeah. I think it's a meaningful change. Pete DeBoer, love him, hate him, doesn't really matter. He gets a lot of real good results out of the rosters that he coaches.
Yep.
Glenn Galutzan has been an assistant for a decade for a reason.
Yeah. It didn't go super well for him the first time he head coached in Dallas. I'll put it to you that way. But that was a decade ago, so maybe things have changed.
Yeah. He's going to get a shot. I mean, there's no excuses. There's no hiding behind anything here.
Yep.
This team is built to win. Right now, it's built to win a lot. If he cannot get high-end results out of it, he won't hang.
True. All right. Let's bust out our haterade. We both have a team that we're expecting to drop in the Central. Mine is St. Louis. For AJ, it's Minnesota.
So, somebody in our Toyota chat pointed out that you and I have the exact reverse of the next four teams, and I didn't realize that until they mentioned it.
They completely flipped.
It's pretty funny. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess state your case as to why no St. Louis, why yes on Minnesota.
I struggle with St. Louis because they, one, didn't do a whole lot this offseason. We've seen St. Louis sit in the same position and get away with it for a while now. And look, is their top six solid? Sure. I don't know how long they can keep surviving off of this scoring by committee style of hockey. And yeah, you have a Robert Thomas. Awesome. Cool. How much further can you go when you, I guess there are going to be people that disagree with me, but I really don't believe a lot in their next wave of young guys. I don't know that any of them are really going to take that next step into truly high impact NHL players. So I struggle with them on that front. I just don't know how much longer you can continue to exist in the Jordan Binnington experience, which he's still capable of having really good games. But for a guy who was inconsistent, we've seen over the last couple of years, it become even more inconsistent on not just a month-to-month or week-to-week, but a game-to-game basis. You don't know what you're getting out of that guy. And St. Louis is a team that just, their one saving grace is, can Monty drag them to relevance? Can the good coaching allow them to survive? And if the coaching doesn't land, then I see them falling off.
That's where I'm at with it, man. Robert Thomas is one of the more underrated top line centers in the NHL. Jim Montgomery's a really good coach. I am iffy that Cam Fowler is going to be able to repeat the I'm suddenly a top pairing defenseman again that he pulled last year.
Yeah.
So I'm iffy on that one for sure. Colton Parayko is pretty good. He's pretty good. I don't really have a lot of problems there.
For his entire career. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we'll see with Logan Mailloux. I liked Bolduc that they traded to Montreal. I like him more than I like Mailloux, so I think that was for me that's a bad deal. But also Jimmy Snuggerud I think is going to be just fine. That guy kind of rocks. But I think your point about they might accidentally be recreating the 22 Blues, is a perfectly fair one. Where it was like, hey, that was a deep team, that was a really good team, but when it ran into some high-end talent, it could only do so much.
Yep. I don't see it there. Minnesota, I want to believe in Minnesota. I feel like my Minnesota pick, because Kirill Kaprizov's awesome.
So he could be awesome and they can suck. That sounds perfect.
I guess that's fair, but I do think they've put together something that is functional, assuming their defense doesn't implode and fall off the aging cliff.
Yeah, the defense is where I'm really curious just how this goes, because Brodin hurt again. Yeah. Jacob Middleton was really bad last year. I think I've said this a bunch. I think Brock Faber is one of the most overrated players in the NHL right now. Jared Spurgeon has been like one of the most underrated players his entire career. It's a lot is riding on Zeev Buium and David Jiricek.
Yeah,
to be legit,
has to be good for them. I'm not as much of a hater as Faber as you are. I don't put him up in the caliber of like a Makar or Hughes or anything, but I do think Faber is good. And then I don't know. I've always liked the Gus Bus and net, but what can you do?
Yeah, I'm curious. Like, they've had such good defensive structure.
Sure.
That they've made that
mask
job
a little bit of it,
easier.
Sure.
That I am curious how Gustafsson does, and can he hold off Jesper Wallstedt from stealing his job? I think probably. Just the body of work from Gustafsson in Minnesota is pretty good. So good that it would be like, what, if 30 games, something going to happen in 30 games that causes Wallstedt to steal that job? Like, I think that might be a late season thing. And I have them down in the standings because truly I don't see a big separator between St. Louis and Minnesota.
I would agree
in my
with that.
standings. St. Louis,
same.
Winnipeg, Utah, Minnesota. I think they're all going to finish roughly within 6 points of each other. And it's just going to be a bloodbath.
Central's always Thunderdome, baby.
Yeah.
It's never easy. Never easy in this division.
All of our central cities should just have a shirt that says always Thunderdome.
I mean, a decent part of our network is in the central. It just happened that way. So, especially if Arizona gets a team back.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yep.
And then we can get rid of
Nashville, probably.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess Nashville. I kind of want Nashville in while they're not
bad.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want another good team.
Well, an expansion Arizona team probably wouldn't be very good. So.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully they're more Seattle than Vegas, and in which case, acceptable. Anyway, yeah, with Minnesota, I just don't see, like, it's a decent top six, but their bottom six isn't much of anything that does It doesn't move the needle for me, and they're teetering on the edge of disaster on defense, which makes their goaltending job much harder. And I'm skeptical that they've got the goods to handle a harder environment because they've been so good defensively over the last few years.
Yeah.
Last year, they were unsustainably good to start the season, and then injuries hit, and then the defense never really recovered, and they kind of just sputtered their way to the end.
Yep. There is a certain level of injury luck that is going to be required of every team, and
totally.
Minnesota already off to a bad start on that front. So,
yeah.
Utah. To me, Utah is the team that I did not know what to do with in this division. I really don't know what to expect out of that team. Obviously, they made the big splash with Peterka in the offseason and all of that, but this is a team that's been trying to turn the corner for a handful of years, and they haven't quite been able to get over that hump. Maybe they slip into a wild card spot this year. Maybe they don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I think some improved injury luck. They missed John Marino and Sean Dursey for a lot of last season. That made life tougher for them. They add Nate Schmidt to that blue line. Vejmelka, Vanacek is like, it's fine in net. It's exactly the kind of roster that you look at and go, this could, they should compete for a wild card spot.
It's a bubble team. Yeah.
Yeah, but unless Logan Cooley takes like
the turbo step,
jump, becomes a 90+ point player, their top six is just going to be more good than great. Peterka is a little too one-dimensional still. Dylan Genther rocks. He's the bomb. No worries there. Clayton Keller rocks.
Yeah.
He's the bomb. No worries there. But Barrett Hayton, Nick Schmaltz, these are like fine guys. Like, they're good players, but
Yeah, you run out of talent pretty quick, even with the addition of Peterka on that front. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I do like their defense. And I've always been a Sergachev stan, but
same. I do worry. Ian Cole and Ole Mott are fighting for a lot of ice time. And I think both of those guys are better served as third pairing guys at this point in their careers. So that's they're like the reverse of Dallas, where they've got the guys at the top of their defense are really, really good. Not quite as good as Dallas's. Because Thomas Harley and Miro Heiskanen are both top 15 defensemen.
Yeah.
But their right side is really good. The top of their defense is really good, but their left side is bad.
Yeah. They used Ole Mott so much last year. It was very weird. I do think they need to figure out their usage on those D maybe a little bit better, but I guess health would help in that regard, to be fair. So
yeah.
Is what it is. Winnipeg, I feel like we talked about Winnipeg a ton this summer. They're a team who lost a bunch of pieces and didn't really do a whole lot to fill those gaps by any stretch.
Yeah, you go from Scheifele, Nemesnikov, Lowry as your 1 through 3 to at least through December, Scheifele, Taves, Nemesnikov.
Yep.
Scheifele as a 1 is good.
Yep,
That's good. He's really good. You're fine.
Weirdly playing his best hockey at 33.
Losing Adam Lowry as your 3C, he was a huge part of your success. Injured through, I think he's supposed to come back sometime in December. He's a major part of he's their shutdown line. He's the guy that takes on their hard defensive matchups because Scheifele can't. Yep. Especially Scheifele and Connor together can't handle hard defensive matchups. They get beat up pretty badly at 5v5. And then we don't know what Jonathan Taves is.
Yep.
He's hurt right now. It's probably a short-term thing, but like we have no idea who he is, how good he is going to be at the NHL level. At this point, it's been years since he's been in the league. Really, truly, no idea. It's not like with Gabe Landeskog where we got a little 5-game sample where he was really good, and we're like, okay, I'm buying stock. Jonathan Taves, you're just like, I have absolutely no idea. He could be really good, and this could go well for them. This could be a total nightmare, and it could sink them.
I think their forward depth in general just you're really struggling when you lose that center depth, and obviously you lose Nick Ehlers, who arguably the most efficient point scorer in the NHL last year.
Yeah, and a big part of why they had the top-ranked power play.
Yep.
Losing him off that unit, and like, are you going to be able to repeat top-ranked power play, slotting in Cole Perfetti for Nick Ehlers?
No.
I guess
the answer is
just consider
no.
me skeptical of that. And frankly, like, you just have to know eventually Connor Hellebuck is not going to be able to play at this absolute, like, turbo,
right.
incredible, miles better than every other goaltender.
Even if he has just a good
level.
Season, Winnipeg's taking a step back. Like
if he has the season that Andrei Vasilevsky had last year, arguably the second best goalie in the league last year, if he has just that good of a season, they take a serious step back.
Yep.
They lose 4 or 5 wins right off the top.
Yeah.
That's why I'm kind of a hater for them, is their depth gets worse. I don't believe that Hellebuck can continue to save them. Even Eric Comrie had a good year last year, and Eric Comrie's not good.
True.
No
arguments.
I just, they feel like a team that has defied the percentages 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
For a team that's like okay at 5v5, they got worse over the summer. Yeah. Their center depth isn't good. Their wing depth isn't even that great. Like, Gustav Nyquist is in your top 6. Yeah. It's 2025.
That was a cool move 3 years ago, maybe, but
right. It's 2025, man. Like, I like their bottom 6. I think it's good. I think it's competitive. Solid.
Having a good bottom 6 and a bad top 6 is not a recipe for a successful hockey team.
Yeah. And their defense, Morrissey's really good. DeMello's solid. Neil Pionk is a product of his environment. Dylan Sandberg, he's really good. When it hasn't been Sandberg, he's not been good. Yep. And now Sandberg is out, 4 to 6 weeks?
Something like that, yeah.
So, and their bottom pairing is bad. So you're talking about they've got real problems in Winnipeg. Not like, oh, hey, can Sam Malinsky play on the left side on a third pairing? Like, well, we'll see. Like, they've got real problems.
Yeah. I look no further than the 2C position. Even if there are some questions about Brock Nelson, there's a very long track record of him being a proper 2C. And Winnipeg has Jonathan Toews, who literally hasn't played hockey in 3 years, as their 2C.
Right. A guy with a long track record as being a 1C a decade ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got, I just, all the signs are there, I think, for Winnipeg to either make me look dumb, again, because I said a lot of this stuff last season too, or finally experience that, like,
the regression has to happen eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. You just don't usually defy some of these percentages this frequently.
The bottom 2. I don't think we need to say a ton about Chicago. Sorry, CHGO, you're just bad again this year. You did not make moves to make you an actual quality hockey team. You picked up some guys you hope play well that you can flip at the deadline, and then we know what this is. That's just the reality. Nashville, neither of us buying into a potential bounce back for the Preds this year.
I could buy into a bounce back, but I just think that all of those 4 teams, that cluster of 4 teams that we both have above Nashville,
are just better. Yeah.
Are just going to be too good.
Yeah.
Like, even if UC Saros has a bounce back, right, and he's really solid again. Roman Josi is solid. Whatever ailment he got he was diagnosed with in the offseason,
it seems fine.
Does not prevent him
yeah.
from being a high-end player again. They have a top line that actually doesn't randomly have a collective PDO of like 940 or something. Like, all of those things happen. They're nowhere near deep enough.
Yeah.
Nowhere near deep enough. The bottom of their roster is bad. And for some absolutely insane, inexplicable reason, they're in a pissing contest with Luke Evangelista.
Yeah, I don't understand why that isn't just done.
What is this?
You were willing to give all that money to a bunch of old dudes, and now you won't pay Luke Evangelista?
Like on a 2-year deal. He's 23.
You can keep control there.
You're arguing over $1 million with a guy that's 23. You have $8 million in cap space.
Yep.
What are we doing? He's put up back-to-back 30-point seasons. This isn't like a guy that had 16 points last year, and you're like, hey, the team has a decent point. What is Barry Trotz doing with this? Why?
Penny smart, dollar
This
stupid.
isn't setting a tone. This isn't telling young players anything other than the team might try and screw you no matter what.
Are you under 35? We're not going to pay you.
Right. Like, hey, Stamkos, that guy's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I get it. Jonathan Marchessault, he's pretty good. Like, long track record of being pretty good. Okay.
And their legacies are not going to be remembered about Nashville at all.
Yeah, like, you traded for Eric Howla in the offseason.
Wow.
That guy makes over $3 million. Why are you doing this with Evangelista?
At this point, as far as I'm concerned, Nashville only exists to stand around and trade Ryan O'Reilly to the Avs when they need a 3C.
I'm with it.
That's it. That's their existence in this division to me. They're just not. They're not a team that is built well. And they put themselves in a situation where they needed to go all in because of the age of players and the term they gave these players, and it immediately backfired on them.
I'm talking about Luke Evangelista can't get the money, but Nick Hague could.
$5 million for Nick Hague, dude. What?
$5.5 million. Not even like a 1-year deal like what Christian Dvorak got in Philadelphia, where you were like, he was probably getting 2-year offers for a couple $1 million. He took a 1-year, $5 million deal. Tight.
But
that's 5.5 over 4 years.
Yep.
You gave that boy money.
Which, to be fair,
he kind of sucks.
It does look less bad given the last couple of D contracts we've seen signed, but
I don't know, man. He's a weak defender that doesn't do anything offensively. He's just got good size.
Look, you're preaching to the choir. I think Nick Hague is a bum, but no offense, Nick. I'm sure you're a great guy. I just don't think you're very good at hockey. It is what it is. Nashville
for sure
has built a hole that they have to prove they can dig themselves out of it, right? This team has to prove that there is something there that for whatever reason just didn't show up last year to even be competitive in this division. Yeah, that's about it. Any other thoughts about the Central, AJ?
I mean, sure, we could probably talk about the Central all day long, but we're good.
109 points? Is that what your Avs prediction was?
108.
108 for the Avs? Okay. Yeah. I think I said 112.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Who knows? Maybe the Avs are at the top of the conference, at the top of the league. Maybe they're not, because some team always seems to pull a 120-point season out of their butts. But
Carolina.
Sure. Carolina can have the President's Trophy. I'm not going to fight on that.
I'm sorry, but this is just the 2001 season all over again for me. Instead of Ray Bourque, it's Brent Burns. And they had a heartbreaking loss to Dallas last year that has stung them. Yep. And they've got a bunch of pissed off superstars that are ready to light fire to the league, and I think they're going to win the President's Trophy, and then I think that they're going to win the Stanley Cup.
I'm down. Mostly that last one. That's the one that I really want. But I do think this is the best the vibes have been for the Avs since the Cup year by a good margin. And it's not just, Landy's back. It's not just, the Avs made these moves and Brent Burns and all of that. It's just the atmosphere around the team. You can feel it this year, that they're in it to go hard.
It's hunger. It's not stress.
Yeah.
It's not, we don't know what's going on with Landy. We're out. There's no Lecky. There's no Nichushkin. We don't know what's going on with this guy. Our goalies can't stop pucks. There's belief in every level.
Yep.
They're all, it's going to be 23 guys pulling the rope in the same direction from day one, and they haven't had that.
True. It's a weird feeling to be relatively healthy going into the season.
Quick thing from our friends over at Bet365. Under 103 is minus 130, and then over 103.5 is plus 100. So that's plus money.
Even money on the Avs to get 104 points. Take that all day. That's free money.
One win better than a team that used 49 players last year.
Free dollar bills.
Cash it. Cash.
Jump in on that. We are going to wrap up our show for today. We appreciate everyone hanging out. Post game tomorrow, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to watch the game in some form or another. But make sure you tune into that. And then before you know it, Tuesday, the season really kicks off. So we appreciate y'all. This has been the DNVR Avalanche Podcast presented by Bet365.
We all silly like the mayor.